Hello everyone, welcome back to a very special video. I'm DTM, and with the June 2026 SDS season done, we're here, of course, to analyze the rank 1 data. Always super exciting to do these, and yeah, a big shout outs to everyone that helped with the data collection. Couldn't do this without y'all. And yeah, hopefully you all enjoy as well. If you do, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that jazz to help support the channel. Only takes 5 seconds to subscribe, but it truly does help out the channel a lot, and I really do appreciate all the constant support. So yeah, this season was really interesting, not the least because of the captain skills. Erosion always has a lot of attention when it's on the rotation because the ability to deny saves or make saves not work is generally really strong because saves historically have been the main form of protection that the team has. But we actually don't see as many erosion captain skills compared to, say, Might of Myriads, which has around 40% more usage than erosion. And I think Might of Myriads won out over erosion for a couple of factors. One, saviors have been historically on a decline in recent years, especially thanks to Heimdallr. And so we've already have been seeing less and less saves. Lucina Ring did help with that, and Roy Ring would help with that. But like the downward trend is a thing, and so it's not like saves were omnipresent to begin with. Also, the mere fact that erosion was on the slate meant that people just did not run saves to begin with, and if no one runs saves, then there's not really a point to run erosion because then erosion is useless, right? And also, and this is the final thing, we've gotten a lot of useful tools to make tanky units even more tanky. Things like Rise Above and Roy Ring, and that increased the value that Might of Myriads would have because Might of Myriads is like the skill to put on your tanky units. And so I think it's the combination of those 3 factors that made Might of Myriads won out compared to erosion. But obviously, erosion is still significantly used, enough to the point where you have to like consider the risk of running into an erosion team, which is why, again, people did not run saves, and you'll see that in the data. Reversal still had some significant usages though. The stat swings reversal can enable is really big, so yeah, still pretty significant. And when it comes to the bonus units, well, I think it was pretty obvious, but Roy definitely won out compared to Shez and Alencia. Like, you compare Emblem Roy to Shez and Alencia, it's just like no contest, right? Like, obviously you would choose Roy. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the top 10, starting with number 1. We have Alphador. I don't even know how many times in a row Alphador has been number 1, but what can I say? Bonuses are really strong right now. We have some very powerful bonuses like Foresight Snare and Gallop, to name a few. And Alphador has the ability to, take those bonuses, not only from the allies on your team, but also from the enemy as well. And he can transfer that to, say, your primary nuke or your frontline tank or whatnot, which is really strong. The thing with Alphador is that he's sort of a unit that levels the playing field, right? Like, if the enemy team has very powerful bonuses that your team doesn't have, then Alphador can just take that from the enemy team and give it to your own team, right? And so that sort of levels the playing field when it comes to bonuses. So you don't even have to run units like Heimdallr or Sigurd, like waste a team slot for them. If the enemy team has a Heimdallr or a Sigurd, well, you get the benefits of Gallop and Foresight Snare, even without having to take the team slot to run those support units. And so, yeah, that is why Alphador is number 1. Like, huge playing field leveler and just easy to slap on a team to take advantage of all the bonuses, not just from your allies, but from the enemy teams as well. Now, at number 2, we have the bonus unit for this season, which is Emblem Roy. And yeah, he is bonus, so this is a little bit inflated, but Roy is very difficult to take out thanks to the miracle in his special. It's not to the same extent as Valley, but man, is it really, really tough to crack Roy. The one big thing to keep in mind is that he really, really does not want to be outsped, because if you can double Roy, then the ability to kill him becomes a lot easier. And so that is one downside to Roy as a unit. That being said, though, obviously he is still very, very tanky as a miracle unit, and oftentimes you can just leave him into the enemy range and he'll be fine, right? Like, there's very little things that can consistently kill him. So he is generally safe to be that frontline role, be in the enemy team, cause that obstruction, potentially like go in and take out ice or pop the snare or what have you. And you can generally rely on him surviving, and him being a bonus just is extra perks on that, right? So yeah, that is why Roy is here at number 2. At number 3, we have Fallen Male Byleth, one of the premier nukes last season, and that's no difference here for this season. Especially with the new skills that we have from Rise Above and Roy Ring, Byleth has become even more tanky and difficult to deal with, which makes his playstyle of going in, taking out a unit, gale forcing off the shared spoils, and then taking out another unit to retreat just that much more powerful, because that means that when you go in and take out a unit and are stuck there due to the gale force, he is even more likely to survive, right? With Rise Above, with Roy Ring. So that's just a huge boost in his playstyle and therefore his power and viability. So yeah, one of the premier nukes, can take out a lot of units, can survive a lot of units, and yeah, that's why he is here at number 3. At number 4 and number 5, because let's be real, these two are effectively the same, we have Heimdallr, and yeah, I've said a similar thing before, but Foresight Snare remains the most powerful form of protection that we have, especially in this season, because it is erosion season. And if saves wasn't already in a bad spot, even if it was slightly recovering due to Lucina Ring, with erosion season, like, yeah, you're not running a save. And so really, the only thing you have is Foresight Snare. And so yeah, because of that, we have the Heimdallrs occupying number 4 and number 5. And so yeah, I mean, there's not much to say about that. Like, Foresight Snare is effectively the only form of protection that is viable in erosion season. And thanks to units like Alphador and Crom, you can spread it onto multiple units to protect more of your team. And yeah, that remains very, very prominent to this day. So yeah, that's why we have the Heimdallr at number 4 and number 5. At number 6, which is really interesting, because I think previously she was like number 2, number 3-ish. But yeah, Sakura, legendary Sakura, had a bit of a drop off. On obviously, like, not that big, because she's still in the top 6 here. But yeah, not as powerful or not as meta as she once was. Salvage, of course, is still really strong, right? Being able to fully retreat remains very important for fragile nukes. But I think, as we have seen from like Byleth and Roy and from future units, survivability has gained a lot in terms of like the new skills that we have from like Rise Above and Roy Ring. So being able to retreat fully with Sakura is not as important anymore, thanks to nukes that actually do want to, you know, go in and gale force, essentially. And if you want to go in and gale force, then there's not really a need for salvage to retreat all the way back to get out of the enemy's range. With Rise Above and Roy Ring, more units can take the risk to stay in the enemy range to continue the steamroll. And so yeah, I think that's why we sort of see this decline on Sakura. Obviously, Sakura is still very, very strong though, like 67%. So yeah, still a very powerful unit, but, you know, starting to see a little bit of a drop off. So that's going to be interesting to see if that continues for the next SDS seasons. The complete opposite of a drop off, though, a big rise, would be Bridal Heir. I think Bridal Heir was roughly like 40-ish%, but now is in the 60s. And yeah, I think a big reason for that is that we've just gotten a huge explosion in the debuffs that the units have, right? Frozen is becoming more and more prominent, and Frozen especially is one of the most debilitating debuffs out there, and we've just got more ways to apply it from like Tibarn. Niffle is continuing to rise in usage. And so, yeah, being able to cleanse not just Frozen, but other debuffs as well is huge. And Bridal Air is the best cleanser right now, right? She is better nuke than Emblem Micaiah, which is down here. Wow. Did not realize she was all the way down there. And as a flyer, like flyers right now is the best class just due to their mobility and the skills they're able to use. Obviously, it is unfortunate that Bridal Air C skill is occupied, but it's honestly is not that big of a deal. And yeah, like Bridal Air is the best cleanser, has the action eco, and yeah, like being the best cleanser in a huge Frozen and debuff meta would make your usage rise. So yeah, makes sense why Air here is at number 7. At number 8, we have the Eternal Lady. That's right, we have Summer Thor. And yeah, you know how I was talking about Alphador and Heimdallr and like how there's so many powerful bonuses right now from like Foresight Snare and Gallop and whatnot? Well, Thor just like completely gets rid of all of that, right? Thor remains the best counter in a sense to Heimdallr. Also the best counter to like Gallop type teams to get rid of that Gallop. Basically any team that relies on bonuses, like Thor can really debilitate them, right? The only counter to Thor is Tiki. And I don't know if y'all know, but Tiki's like all the way down here at 10% usage. So realistically, you're not running into Tiki. So you can easily slot in Thor for that button, get rid of the bonuses, get rid of Foresight Snare, get rid of Gallop, and make the enemy team play a real honest 1v1 Fox only Final Destination match. So yeah, Thor's ability to remove bonuses in a huge bonus meta means that she is here at number 8. At number 9, we have Froxy Crom. And Froxy Crom is basically a diet version of Alphador, like Alphador at home. Unfortunately, Crom can't take the enemy bonuses, but what he can do is spread bonuses on himself to another unit. And so that pairs really well with Heimdallr Foresight Snare. You just give Foresight Snare to Crom, and then Crom can pass that on to another unit, say Lyn or Leon, for example, just to name a few, and they'll have Foresight Snare and protection. You can put extra movement, like plenty of bonuses. Again, we have so many powerful bonuses, so Crom being able to share that is really strong, and you can form teams around that, and that's really cool. So yeah, it's not just the bonus sharing, of course. Like Crom himself is a very powerful nuke. Even with the rise of tankiness, Crom can take out a lot of difficult units, and so that still remains very valuable when you use Crom. And yeah, that is why he is here at number 9. And then at number 10, we have Brave Harmonic Micaiah, the star of the Brave banner, or Brave Redux banner, or whatever you call it. And yeah, I think we clocked it, at least in my reaction, when I thought that Micaiah would probably be the most used, or at least the best unit from that batch, because Feud is really good. Like when we have Lucina, when we have Valley, like all these powerful drives, like Miracle drives and DR drives, Micaiah being able to apply the feud means that you don't have to worry about that anymore and can just, again, have like good, honest 1v1 matchups. So many drives exist when it comes to like Favor and Lucina Emblem and Valley Miracle support, and even other Miracle supports like from the Summer Balder, which, okay, maybe you don't have to deal with it that much, but like it still exists, right? And having the feud be able to get rid of that is, you know, very powerful. I talked previously about how Veronica was so powerful thanks to the fact that she has the feud support. Well, now Brave Micaiah is here. And while Brave Micaiah doesn't completely replace Veronica, you can run both of them. And there are cases where Micaiah is less reliable in applying the feud compared to Veronica, because Micaiah targets like the highest, the units with the highest stats from each of the 4 stats. And sometimes it all comes down to 1 unit, which obviously is not that great. But still, Micaiah is there with a feud support. It's not just feud support though, like she can warp in, be like a follow-up nuke, which is really, really good. But yeah, she's mainly here just for the feud support because feud is super, super strong. And so yeah, that is why she is here at number 10. And yeah, a pretty interesting top 10 this time around, right? Like we got some internal movements like Sakura moving down, which is really interesting. Lin no longer being in the top 10, probably pushed out by like Roy and Micaiah and whatnot, but you know, it's fine. Valley also dropping a little bit. We also got some new units as well. We talked about Emblem Roy, but yeah, Emblem Roy is bonus, so it makes sense to use him and is the miracle tank of the day. We talked about Brave Harmonic Micaiah. I think the other one is Chosen Legiarn. Yeah. Obviously not as highly used as, say, Brave Harmonic Micaiah, but, you know, Chosen Legiarn still has the True Charge support, which, you know, True Charge is one of the best mobility supports you have, besides Gallop. And so Legiarn being able to have that just in her kit is really, really nice. And of course, the ability to clear ice is also really, really nice. Ice is super prominent with Corn Ring, with all the ice lock, etc. And so Legiarn being able to clear that is just very, very good. Brave Harmonic is all the way down here. Yeah, it turns out, especially on this map, it's kind of difficult to align the style range to be able to attack the enemy you actually want to attack, right? Because this is basically Lin Ring range, and Lin Ring range unfortunately is not that good. Because like it makes the diagonal directions very, very hard to hit, right? Because it's only in like 3 rows or 3 columns. And so like that diagonal direction, which, you know, most maps, including this maps, you really want to be able to attack diagonally because generally you're at the corners of like the rectangle. So you know, want to attack diagonally across. And yeah, unfortunately, Brave Harmonic doesn't really do that. That doesn't mean he's bad, of course. Like you could still use him. He's still a really good nuke. But yeah, that range is really big oof, honestly. And then we have the rest of the summer banner. You know, they exist, I guess. Like, honestly, Summer Sharena did a lot better than I thought she would be. And honestly, that's generally because Sharena's Gale Force support has gained a lot of value due to the fact that we have a rise in survivability. Like I talked about how Sakura kind of decreased because folks don't really want to retreat all the way as much as they used to, thanks to them being able to survive more. So that also benefits Sharena because, you know, if units don't care as much about retreating outside of the enemy range, then they could afford to stay in the enemy range, take that Gale Force, and then continue the steamroll. And so that means Sharena does have some good usage. Obviously not to a huge extent, but the Chinese players definitely love their Sharenas. And yeah, the rest of the summer banner, I mean, I guess Baldur's there. Is there anyone else? I don't even know. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what we expected. I don't even see a Hother there. Anyways, it's fine. It's fine. People weren't pulling the summer banner for the kids. That's all I'll say. But yeah, very, very interesting new additions. We got some interesting rises, though. Like, we talked about Bridal Air rising from 42% to 66%. So that is an over 20% increase from number 16, where Valley is now, all the way to number 7. And yeah, I think this just comes down to the fact that Bridal Air is the best cleanser, and we've gotten a lot of debuffs that are very debilitating. And so Air just perfectly slots into the current meta. Like the only other options are like what? Emblem Micaiah, Emir. So yeah. Yeah, Air is the best cleanser. So makes sense that she has shot up in usage. The other rises are Freya. This is a little bit of a rise, But last season, Halloween Freya was at 9% usage, so not even double digits. She was like, what, number 51? So like where Fjorm is right now. But this season, she rose all the way to 26%, or number 27. And part of this is due to reversal season, right? Freya double reversal works really, really well. But even without reversal, you can run Minor Myriads on Freya. And the new skills from Rise Above and Roy Ring just greatly increased Freya's survivability. Actually makes her survive things now. And so, yeah, because of that, she has shot back up. Now that she is able to survive things, it's kind of crazy. Just, Freya just needed to survive things and boom, she's back. Ish, of course, only at 26. But again, the Chinese players loved Freya, so, in the same vein as increasing survivability, we have Nerthus. Nerthus, was already on the rise in the previous SD seasons after her refine and remix, but now she is on a roll. Previously, she is at 19% or at number 34. Now she is at 32% or number 20. And yeah, Nerthus actually is probably the best tank right now. I faced against a Nerthus Tibarn team. Oh my gosh, Nerthus was actually invincible. Literally, I was doing 0 damage. She is so tanky, and she also hits super, super hard as well. And the combination of Nerthus, Tibarn, you can run Happy. I've seen some Happy teams out there. I don't know exactly where Happy is in the data, but she's down there somewhere. You don't need to run Happy with Nerthus though. She is fine on her own. Just again, being able to stand there and do some damage while not being afraid of the enemy threat range, right? And so yeah, Nerthus definitely got a rise thanks to the recent new skills that increased tankiness. That being said, of course, there is the flip side of the coin, and that is the falls. And yeah, with the rise of tankiness, units say Leon kind of dropped off. Leon actually had a super huge drop off. It's kind of crazy. Last season, he was at 74% usage, right? Literally number 6. He had the same usage as Mythic Heimdallr, last season. But now he has dropped all the way down to 28% at number 26. That is a crazy drop off. That is almost a 50% drop, which is insane. I mean, for one thing, he is no longer bonus. So it makes sense he would have a little bit of a drop off. But this is really crazy. And I think this comes down to a couple of things. One, again, I mentioned before, but units are a lot more tanky these days, which means it is a lot harder for Leon to be able to kill units, even with the anti-save that he has, being able to selectively pick units he wants to be able to take out. And if he is unable to reliably kill at least some of the units on enemy teams, then his whole thing of denying enemy actions just does not work, which means that, yeah, Leon becomes a lot less effective. And also, I mentioned this before, but the Leon team is one of the hardest teams to pilot, right? You have to pay very close attention to the speed stats of the enemy teams to make sure you deny the action on the correct unit. You have to play very, very carefully to make sure that you're able to starve the enemies of actions. And so already, not a lot of people really like using Leon. So when he became that much harder to use, thanks to the rise in tankiness of teams from Roy Ring and Rise Above, it makes sense that Leon fell in usage. Obviously, the Chinese players still really, really love Leon though, but everyone else didn't. So yeah, rip Leon. The drop off is insane. Oh my gosh, 74% to 28%. That's actually nuts. Not to the same extent, but we had some other smaller drop-offs. We had Sakura going from 90% to 67%. That is an over 20% drop. I already mentioned it before, but with the rise of tankiness, the need to have your units retreat all the way back is not as necessary because units have a higher chance of surviving while in enemy range, and therefore, yeah, salvage has less less power. Obviously still very strong though, but yeah, that's a little bit of a drop off. The Valleys also dropped off. Like we have New Year's Valley here from 64% to 43%, and Mythic Valley from 40% to 21%. And I think this comes down to the fact that there is a lot more Miracle now, right? Like we had Summer Balder, we have Roy Ring, and also Feud is starting to become more and more prominent thanks to Veronica and now Brave Harmonic Micaiah. And so being able to just bypass Valley is more and more common, at least when it comes to her support. And yeah, because of that, we are starting to see Valley drop. Also, we are starting to reach a tankiness where you don't necessarily need the Miracle from Valley anymore. And so, yeah, it's funny that this rise in tankiness means that Valley is less and less necessary. But, you know, that is how it be sometimes. Other small drop-offs are, okay, maybe not small, but like Icthonier obviously had a drop-off from 31% to 10%, or number 21 to number 48. This one, you know, is really, really simple to explain. It's erosion season. Even though erosion is not as used as much as, you know, we might have feared, the mere threat of erosion existing means that it is way too risky to run Icthonier or like any other savior. And so, yeah, that is why we have this drop for Icthonier. Makes sense. Mia also dropped from 31% to 15%, so around a 50% drop rate. And that's, quite frankly, Peony just stole Mia's job. I mean, Peony existed last season, but I think it's starting to accelerate, Peony just taking over from what Mia can provide. Like, Peony is basically everything Mia can do besides nuke, but really, Peony providing the dance that re-enables Kanto is just a lot more significant than the potential melee nuke king that Mia can do. Another drop, there's a lot of drops because there's been a lot of like new units that have been impactful. But another drop would be Camilla from 21% to 5%. Yeah, it's far from the heydays of Camilla. Again, the fact that we have Corn Ring, and not just Corn Ring, but so many other units that have terrain, canceling out Camilla's warping means that effectively you just become like a standard non-warping melee flyer. And in a range of 3 range styles from Byleth to Lyn to Celica, there's like, it is really, really difficult to justify Camilla with that reduced range. To a similar vein, we can also say the same to Balder. Now, Balder is still more used than her summer version, which is all the way down here, right? But yeah, previously, New Year's Balder was at 53%. Now it is at 39%. So a roughly 14% decrease. And yeah, everything I said about Camilla, to a certain extent, can apply to Balder. Like, Balder obviously does not have to rely on terrain. She has Heavenly Soar, but it remains the fact that her range is limited compared to, say, like the 3 range style users like Byleth, like Lyn, like Brave Harmonic Celica. Although, obviously, Balder is used more than Brave Harmonic Celica. She did get some buffs, like with Roy Ring, allowing her to survive better, and the like. But really, the main problem of her not doing enough damage still remains. It's really difficult to kill things with Balder. And like, it was already starting the decline before with Lucina Ring. But now with Roy Ring and Rise Above and everything, things have gotten even more tanky. And so, yeah, we're starting to see an even more decline in Balder. So yeah, those were the falls. Yeah, the rise in tankiness from Roy Ring and Rise Above has really like changed a lot of the usages when it comes to like the meta and the units and stuff like that, which is really interesting to see. It's really, really interesting. But yeah, those are the units. We can talk about teams next, and this is a really interesting slate of teams that we have. The first team we have is this Freya Roy team featuring Azura, Air, Freya, Roy, and Sharena. And you might look at this team and be like, okay, Roy's the carry, right? Like, we're going to have Roy go in, be that omnipresent tank, and then use his style to take out units, right? Actually, no. The carry in this team is actually Freya, right? This whole team is basically the reason why Freya is back. And it is taking advantage of the recent additions we had. With Rise Above and Roy Ring, Freya got a huge boost in survivability and is extremely tanky, especially in Might of Myriad season. She is the main carry, and her job is to get smited into the enemy and Gale Force sweep with Sharena, thanks to the boost in survivability. Roy mainly runs patience on this team, and his main job is to break the ice, pop snare, and maybe kill Ike, which Freya cannot do, right? So I guess Roy's main job is to just kill Ike and ice and snare. If Freya goes down, which is really difficult, but is possible, Roy becomes the secondary carry and acts similarly to Freya thanks to his survivability and 2-range style. And then, Azura here is for the range, for the 2-range dance and the potent follow-up. Potent follow-up is really, really powerful for Freya to be able to nuke even more effectively. Air is to cleanse, pretty obvious, but she also is the one to smite in Freya, so you can get Freya into range effectively while also cleansing the debuffs on Freya. Very, very nice. And then, Sharena is the Gale Force, because again, like, Freya is tanky enough to not have to worry about retreating. She can just stay in the enemy range and take it like a boss. Also, Sharena, I forgot to mention this when talking about her as a unit, but Sharena also gives great talent buff. And obviously that just makes the tankiness of both Freya and Roy even more powerful. And so, just the perfect support option for this type of team. Now, the one downside to this team is that this team can struggle with range, right? Like, Freya does not have that great range. Roy also has pretty limited range. So again, you are relying on Air to smite in Freya or Roy and them surviving. And this can be a struggle, especially against Byleth teams who can generally deal with Freya and has superior range. And also, because we are using Freya, you need to make sure the opponent's does have stat bonuses. If they don't have stat bonuses, Freya loses a lot of stats, which is actually really funny that you want your opponents to be buffed. But that's just something to keep in mind with this team. But very, very synergistic, taking advantage of all the new additions. And you love to see a team like this making the meta. I never expected a Gale Force S team with Sharena support would be one of the most used teams, but here we are. The second team we have is basically the exact same Leon team as we had last SDS. If you remember from last time, the goal here is to use Leon and his Savior bypass to selectively target units and then end action one of the other units on the enemy team to not be in danger anymore. Leon's Savior denial with the end action of the highest speed foe starves the opponent of attackers, especially if the opponents didn't speed tune their team. He can't kill a lot of tanky units though, especially with Roy Ring, especially with Rise Above. So we do have Crom here, who can get those kills on the more tanky units. With Heimdallr, Crom can take the cancel and pass it on to Leon, leading to multiple units with a snare, making it very difficult for the opponents to attack into you while also preventing the potential of Leon going in and disabling the units proactively, right? Like, we have Heim providing the reactive end action while Leon provides the proactive end action. Ivy is here to provide follow-up support in terms of nuking with the warping, ice clearing with the button that she has so that Leon can actually attack the unit he wants, and can also give Crom potent follow so he can secure direct kills on Byleth. And then, Robin is here to prevent penalties and sabotage from limiting the damage of Leon and Crom. There's so much debuffs that having Grand Strategy is actually really useful, especially since no one runs Ploy these days. And while cleansing from air or Micaiah or whatever can be used, the support from Robin with the Grand Strategy actually pushes the damage ceiling even higher. And so, yeah, that is why Robin is used on this type of team. So yeah, pretty much the exact same team as last season. And yeah, makes sense why they're here at the second most used team here. At number 3, we have the Byleth team. Again, pretty much the same as the last SDS season as well. Byleth is the main carry whose job is to go in and take someone else. And especially with the new skills like Rise Above and Roy Ring, he is able to safely Gale Force and stay in the enemy range with the shared spoils. Yeah, Rise Above makes Byleth a lot more tanky, and so it just makes this playstyle a lot more safe. And again, he's still a really, really good nuke, having the 3 range style to get around ice. Ike provides the front line so that the enemy can't target the supporting crew as easily while Byleth does his thing. He also generally repos in Byleth and is able to stay in danger because, again, we have a huge boost in tankiness thanks to Rise Above. I think that's the theme here. Rise Above is just boosting tankiness all across the board. Veronica provides the feud support. Niffle provides the frozen and ice support. And so Niffle can smite in Byleth. Generally, Niffle runs Micaiah Ring, so we're also cleansing Byleth from debuffs. And ideally, when you're smiting in Byleth with Niffle, you do it in a way that her ice can clear the enemy ice so that Byleth can attack 2 people, because the 3 range style only happens once per turn. And so you can only get around ice like once if you can only use the 3 range style once. But if you clear the ice, then you can fall back to just the 2 range, normal range. But obviously in real matches that can be difficult. So, you know, it's a little bit tricky. And then, yeah, Peony here provides the dance that re-enables the Canto and the reflex, which is really, really good on Byleth because Byleth has a lot of DR. And so obviously the reflex from Peony synergizes really, really well with this Byleth. And so, yeah, that's that team. And then we also have Lin teams. There are many variants of the Lin team. This is one with Chrom and Sakura. This is one with Alphador and Lin and Sakura, with Sigurd providing the gallop. This is one without Plumeria, but with Thor. Like, they're all different variations, but yeah. These teams are fairly straightforward, right? Like, we have Alphador here sharing the buffs to Lin, whether that be the snare, the salvage, or the gallop. And then Lin just uses her ginormous range to like effectively cover the field, use erosion to selectively take out a unit, and then retreat all the way back with Sakura, right? Pretty easy playstyle to understand. That being said, there is this team, which is really interesting. I had no idea the Chinese players were using this team, but apparently this is a Sigurd carry team. And apparently, like, Sigurd's like built-in mechanism with his special combined with frozen status applied after the AoE makes it extremely difficult for the enemy to follow up on Sigurd, because Sigurd actually has the miracle, right? And so unless like the high speed units bring Fatal Smoke or like Elise or Chrom or whatever, it's kind of difficult to kill Sigurd once he inflicts that frozen, right? So yeah, this is actually like a Sigurd carry team, which is really, really interesting. We have Lucina support, Heimdallr snare support, ice support, and then Alphador support, obviously, to share that frozen and gallop. Not frozen, snare and gallop. And so, yeah, that's really, really interesting. I never thought I'd see a Sigurd carry, but I guess there's a first time for everything. But yeah, those are the teams. And yeah, a lot of these were prominent Chinese pastas, but not all of them. Like this one is a prominent EN pasta, which is cool to see. And yeah, I guess when it comes to regional trends, it kind of makes sense. The CN community does not like Lin or Lucina, which is a little bit unfortunate because I obviously am a huge Lucina fan. They're also not that big fans of like Leiyarn or Nerthus or even Elise. Like only one person using Elise, dang. And the fact of the matter is that they're not prominent in the CN pasta, so they're not used as much. Meanwhile, they really love units that are used specifically in those CN pastas, right? Like we have like Azura, like 74% compared to the 16% on the other regions. They really love Ike. They really love Ivy. They are still Leon believers, even if the other regions have given up on him. Really love Freya, Sharena, and especially love Robin. Like, this is probably the biggest gap, like 70% versus 5% and 2%, like single digits there. Again, like those units feature in the pastas, and so we see the CN region using those units a lot more compared to their peers. When it comes to the JP community, it's a lot more spread out, but they do like Legiarn a bit more than the other regions, right? Like 50% compared to the 23% and 70% here. In opposition, they are not that big fans of Crom. I guess they don't like the using Crom when you could just use Alphador, I guess. But yeah, I mean, this is not that big of a difference, right? Like, they're still big Crom users. So again, the JP community is a lot more spread out. Don't really see a lot of variation or a lot of differences. Now, when it comes to the EN community, they are still Valley believers. We have Valley here at 57% compared to the 25 or 38 over here. And then Mythic Valley, not as big of a boost, but, you know, still significantly more, 16 usage compared to the 6 on the other regions. They're also fans of Micaiah. They're definitely the biggest Micaiah fans. You love to see it. And also the biggest Lin fans. And like, I think this comes from the fact that like Lin pastas or like Lin type teams have been used so prominently in the past, and EN is generally more slow moving when it comes to meta shifts. So if the Lin team still works, they're still going to use it, right? So yeah, Lin here, highly used in the EN side. Meanwhile, they're not as big fans of Sigurd or Ike. But at least when it comes to Ike, it's not that big of a difference from the JP community. And yeah, again, Sigurd, I could still like use decently enough, but yeah, I would assume the Sigurd carry teams did not carry over to the EN side. In the EN community, Sigurd is basically just a glorified Gallop bot. Let's just be real. But yeah, those are the regional trends. Very, very interesting data, of course. Always love to see the meta shifts in the different regions and the meta shifts overall. And yeah, I think that does it when it comes to the analysis. But of course, we have the final thing, which is to crown the top 3 least meta players or most free thinker teams or players. For those of you who don't know, with this data, we tally up the teams' usages, total usages, and then make a ranking to see who's like the most meta player or the least meta player. And yeah, when it comes to the least meta players, at number 3, we have 1,000. So 1,000 is a Japanese VTuber, known for being a huge Tellius and Tsubasa fan. And yeah, they definitely brought in the theme teams. I believe they did this on stream, actually. So you can probably watch their VOD. But yeah, they featured the Tellius theme team with Tsubasa, of course, as I guess a guest, because they're obviously big fans of Tsubasa. And yeah, you love to see them with their favorite game theme teams. You love to see it. Yeah, congrats to 1,000 for being the number 3 least meta player. At number 2, we have Udon here. And Udon, if we can find them, we talked about 1,000 being a Tellius fan. They're apparently a big Three Houses fan. And so yeah, they feature Three Houses theme teams. This one is a throwaway, I would assume. But like the other 3 are pretty legit. And this is sort of helped by the fact that Three Houses does have really good units, right? Like we have Fallen Male Byleth, which, you know, is completely meta. We have Brave Male Byleth, which, you know, is kind of a cope Brave Harmonic Celica, but you know, Claude is still a really good nuke. And then we have Miklon, who's like secretly super, super good, especially with Happy being able to provide the retreat. And so yeah, they were able to make the Three Houses theme team reach rank 1. And yeah, congratulations on being the number 2 least meta player or most free thinker. And then at number 1, one of the mainstays, we have Evan KPB. And so, yeah, they're back with the double snakes with a variety of less used units, let's just say. We have the double Needhogger, Emir, the Thorba, Marian, Vanitas. Honestly, I don't even know how to analyze this because this is just really, really not used units. I have no reference frame. I know they're legit though, because they definitely share their replays to us, and they're all legit. These are just super stacked units with skills and stuff, and Evan is just able to pilot them very, very effectively. So yeah, all of this is legit. Oh man, using Anand and Solgroom. Although this is probably either for Guardian or for Ice Lock, so that one probably makes sense. But yeah, a wide variety of lesser used units to make the Snake Queens reach rank 1. You love to see it. And congrats to Evan for being the number 1 least meta player, most free thinker of this season. But yeah, that does it for the analysis. Hopefully you all enjoyed. And yeah, very interesting data. Again, thank you everyone that helped with the data collection. Can't do this all without you all. And yeah, hopefully you all enjoyed. Let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are on the SDS meta currently and what the new additions did to the meta. And yeah, hopefully you all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that jazz to help support the channel. Only takes 5 seconds to subscribe, but it truly does help out this channel a lot. And I really do appreciate all content support. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and see you all next time. Bye everyone.